Hey YouTube, it's Shasha. Welcome to my YouTube channel. As you see from the title, today's video is going to be about college applications. This is actually going to be the first video in a series where we talk about college applications, then scholarships, then financial aid. I am a senior from North Carolina, class of 2021. I'm also Afro-Caribbean. So with that being said, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, let's get into the video. So first thing I want to talk about is you guys have got to stay motivated. It's a long process, y'all, trust me. And make sure y'all do y'all research on the colleges that y'all want to go to, because I know people that have wanted to go to NC State, then realized they didn't even have the major they wanted to major in. Now, what we're talking about is deadlines, EA, ED, and RD, the RA. EA is early action. It's kind of like you apply earlier by this date and you're going to get a decision back earlier, which is amazing. This is also a lot of schools' scholarship deadlines. So if y'all are looking to get some scholarships, you want to apply by this date. Early action, EA, is also non-binding. So if you decide not to go to that school, it's okay. On the other hand, there's going to be ED, which is early decision. If you apply early decision to a school and they accept you, you are legally obligated. You have to go to that school or they can like sue you, I think. And you can only apply early decision to one school. And then there's RD, which is rolling decision. It's kind of like as you apply, they admit you, and it's based off like how many people they can put into their freshman class. It's kind of like their last deadline, if that makes sense. Most schools, early action, early decision is November-ish. You definitely look on Common App, but it tells you their deadlines, or just Google it online. But November 1st. Yeah, that's like in 2 weeks. A lot of scholarship deadlines are December 1st, but we're not gonna get into that right now. So make sure you definitely look at the deadlines, guys, and keep a record of it. I would recommend applying early action to every school you want to go to by November 1st. Please do that. You will get a decision back earlier and you will be eligible for a scholarship. I know NCA&T's early action is October 15th, and I'm recording this video on, don't even know that, but just know I'm recording the week of October 15th. So this video might come in the day before North Carolina's deadline, early action deadline, sorry. Oops. Okay, so important documents you need when you're starting your application process, because when I tell you, I started this a couple of weeks ago, I want to say, I didn't realize how many legal forms and documents I needed. And let me tell you, everything needs your social security number and your parents' social security number. So if you don't know that, please go find it quickly. Like, you need to find it now. The first one that's very important, FAFSA, free. Sorry. Un momento, por favor. Free application for federal student aid. Make sure you guys have that filled out. It takes a good little minute to fill it out though, I'm not gonna lie. What you're gonna need for your FAFSA, you're gonna need 2019, I think for this year's 2019 tax return statements, like your taxes and all that stuff. Hopefully, if you fill it out online, there's a way for you to just like transfer it from that website to FAFSA, and it tells you how to do that. So you might need your parents for that, unless you filed your own taxes and you know the password to get into that online. I don't know. You're also gonna need, yeah, like I said, your social security number. They ask for that a lot, and your parents as well. FAFSA will give you your EFC, expected family contribution. It's how much your family is expected to contribute to your college. The more your parents make plus how much you make, the more your family makes, the more you're expected to contribute college education. Your household earns like maybe like $50,000 a year, you may be expected to contribute $8,000 a year to your college. It gives you your number, and that number is going to really determine how much aid you get from colleges. The more you make, the less money colleges are going to give you. A trick that I've learned is that the more you as a student make, the more it's going to be on that EFC number. I think it's like 20%. So if you have like $2,000, $3,000 in your savings account, they're going to ask like, how much money do you have in your savings account? If you go put that 3,000 number, honey, they're they're gonna get money off of that. So a trick that's actually on YouTube I've learned is when you're filling this out for legal purposes, transfer your money. I don't know if y'all can do this, but it says transfer your savings into your parents' savings and then add that up so that you have less than $1,000 in your savings. Because if you put that you have less than $1,000 in your savings on FAFSA, which you will now, which is so it should be legal, then you're expected to contribute less to your college education. So whatever's in your parents' account, they're gonna charge they're gonna get a small percentage of that. Whatever's in your account is gonna charge a bigger percent. And make sure y'all put when it asks like what colleges do you want to go to, put every single one of them that you want to, so that every school that you think you might apply to will get your FAFSA, so they know how much student aid to give you. Another important document is your transcript. Just to have it on file. Obviously, they're gonna give you an unofficial one because I guess it's coming from you. I don't know, but make sure you have like a little file on your computer with your transcript in there, and yeah, it kind of tells you your GPA, your class rank, class you've taken, and they may ask you those questions on college applications depending on where you're applying to. For North Carolina students, listen, if you want to get charged in-state tuition instead of out-state tuition, you're gonna need to fill out the RDS, which is your residency determination service number. I think that's what it's called. And it basically confirms that you live in North Carolina and that you are eligible for in-state tuition in North Carolina. And it basically confirms that you live in North Carolina and that you are eligible for in-state tuition. If you don't want to get charged like 5 times the amount of in-state tuition, I would definitely suggest, well, you have to fill out your RDS. And also if you're applying to application week, which is actually October 19th, and they're giving us 2 weeks this year, so it's from October 19th to October 30th. That's basically where a bunch of colleges in North Carolina waive their application fee. They're going to ask you for your RDS number so that you can qualify for that in-state tuition. You're going to want to make sure you have your test scores available. I would just keep a electronic copy on your computer or your phone, and also keep a paper copy. Then your recommendations, I would suggest at least having 2 recommendations on hand at all times from your teacher, guidance counselor. But the main thing about recommendations, you want to make sure you're not asking a random teacher, a random person for your recommendation. But with recommendations, you're gonna want to find someone that's known you for through your high school career. And definitely don't ask that teacher that you were always messing around in class with. These teachers will write real reviews. Make sure it's somebody that definitely knows how you've contributed to the community, how they see you grow as a person, and make sure they like you. You definitely want to make sure they like you, because if not, then you're not going to get to the college you want to. Make sure you guys ask them early. I know it's annoying when a day or 2 before the application's due and you guys are asking for recommendations. They might be nice and write it, but it's gonna be rushed. If you're watching this video right now, make sure you text somebody. Text your counselor, text your teacher, text your coach, text your pastor, somebody that knows you really well. Make sure you let them know that you want them to write a recommendation for you. There's a part in Common app where you apply to a bunch of colleges. You're gonna assign people to write you recommendations. You need your name and their email. I'm pretty sure it sends an email to them, and then it tells you them to write the recommendation, and they'll do it for you and they'll submit it. Make sure you also remind them of due dates. When you ask someone to write your recommendation, you're going to want to send your resume to them. I'll probably have a whole video on how to make a high school resume for college. If you want to get into a good school, you need to write a resume that shows your high school awards, your high school community service, your leadership, work experience, anything like that you want to put into your resume. And like I said, I will try to make another video about that, and I personally made one, so I will go over my stuff. I hope this video isn't long. It's 17 minutes right now. Oh, if you know any other languages, that's good too. I've always been excited about college. I started my Common App application last year as a junior. I just wanted to see what it was about. There's a lot I couldn't do because, I didn't do the FAFSA or the RDS or have my resume, any of that. But I just wanted to kind of see what are the questions they're going to be asking me? Do I need to prepare for any essays? And yes, it is a long process, because not only do you have to fill out the Common App, but then the specific colleges are going to have a whole application by themselves. If you guys want, I'll do a Common App video. That's where you're putting your counselor's information, your recommenders information as well, and it's not complete without them. So definitely, you want to start contacting some people if you haven't done it yet, if you want to apply by November 1st. The Common App personal essay, that is a very important essay, you guys. It's going to show who you are to the colleges and basically how you've grown as a person. That could make or break your whole application. If you're going against somebody that has the exact same grades, exact same community service as you, but you don't have a hard-hitting essay, you're not going to get that. You're not going to get the spot. That definitely takes some time to write. I would be happy to help some people with their essay, but I'm not going to write it for you. Let's get that straight. A lot of schools have extra essays. So like Howard University, if you want to be a business major, they have an extra essay about why you want to be in business, kind of doing with your major and stuff like that. That's kind of like the application to get into School of Business. So, there's the getting into Howard and there's the getting into the School of Business. Keep your grades up because some colleges ask for mid-year reports. So I guess that's the end of the semester. Final year report at the end of the year. With the essay, you have to be original. And the essay is where you show how you're different from everyone. Like, your grades can only get you so far, and believe me, I know. I have always strived to get good grades throughout high school. You realize most people in college have strived to get good grades. Now, especially with Corona and a lot of schools being test optional, do not have to submit your SAT or ACT score. A lot of people have been happy about that. But number one, some scholarships in that school require that you submit them. So if you want to get those scholarships, then you are going to need to submit those scores. Not all though. But another thing, it does not make it easier to get into the school, you guys. If anything, it makes it harder, because now they look more on what you did outside of the classroom. If you haven't done a lot outside of the classroom and you're like, oh, I'm not going to submit my SAT or ACT scores, it's optional, it doesn't matter. If it's a hard school to get in, you're not getting in, guys. I'm sorry. Because without the SAT and ACT scores, guess what holds a lot of weight now? Your extracurricular activities. I've done a lot of research on colleges and people that have gotten into college, and the one thing that was varying a lot was their scores and their grades, especially really good schools like Howard and Spelman. If you watch people's YouTube videos saying how I got into Spelman College or how I got into Howard University, their grades are all different. Their SAT and ACT scores are all different. But the one thing that is consistent is that they were heavily involved in their community. They held leadership roles like president, secretary, vice president, things like that. So not only being involved in the community and involved in clubs, but also being leaders. If I can tell y'all anything, please take on some leadership roles. If you know you're not good at school and you think it's going to hinder you from getting to college, as long as you can keep that B average, C average, you will be just fine. Oh, another thing, fee waivers. If you get free or reduced lunch, you most likely qualify for a fee waiver. And let me tell you, you can save hundreds of dollars for applying to colleges. Colleges start charging you money before they even let you into the school. Some schools charge $30, $40, $50, $60, $90 just to apply to their school. So definitely look into that, guys. And ask your counselor, teacher for fee waivers, because sometimes they just have them and they'll just give them to you. Thank you for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I think that's it.